Hey guys, welcome back. Chris and Randy here from WeBuyGuns.com with another unboxing video. Remember, in these videos we have firearms that have been shipped into us from our website, so we unbox them for you here on camera. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. That's coming up now.
All right, next up we have one from a customer in High Point, North Carolina.
High Point.
High Point.
Uh-oh.
Been there. Nice little town.
Been through Little Rock once. Fun little town. So is High Point located in High Point?
Yes.
Is it? No.
Oh, you mean the gun?
So High Point Firearms Manufacturing is not located in High Point?
No, I don't think
That
so.
was a missed business opportunity.
It was, wasn't it?
It's just in there with all this busted up styrofoam bouncing around in the box.
Oh, that's nice. So it's just the gun stuck in there with broken up pieces of styrofoam bouncing around, and it looks like it actually survived.
Yeah.
Now that actually, to a certain level, pisses me off. Because we send guns and we wrap the crap out of them and they get damaged. It'll get there.
There's the camera.
Yeah, it actually looks like it showed up okay. A little pressure ding there, but that may have already been there. Remington 700 BDL. Remington 700 is a bolt action rifle that's been around for a long time. Remington, I don't know who actually has the rights to the Remington brand anymore. They've kind of gone defunct and sold off a lot of their manufacturing names and stuff like that to other people, like Barlow, owned by Rigger now and such. This is a nice older one with the jeweled bolt. The BDL would indicate it has the floor plate down here. The ADL is just closed off here at the bottom. One of the most kind of prolific and iconic hunting rifles that have been out there on the market for quite some time. This is a Nikon Monarch scope on top of it. Nikon does no longer manufacture optics. Of course, they are a big prominent camera manufacturer, but they are out of the optics game, which is sad because I've really liked a lot of the Nikon optics that they manufacture, especially at the price point. The Monarch was always sort of on their lower end. Do you have anything else you want to say about that one, Randy?
7mm Remington mag. I would say it's in, I would call this, looking at the condition of the wood, Chris, I would say good condition.
Yeah, I would definitely say good condition as well. If it weren't for a lot of those little dings, little pressure dings, which a lot of it may have happened in shipping, I don't know. Or, you know, the customer didn't actually put the sheet in here. I'll actually get it up here on the computer.
The scope cap is ripped off the back too. You can see the spring sticking out where it's probably in the bottom of the box here.
Customer said very good. I mean, that's close enough. I'm looking at the pictures. I can't really tell. I think that big ding back here was actually in the photos.
Okay.
So some of those little pressure dings are probably already there.
Like a lot of this abrasion stuff on there probably happened during shipping.
Which ones?
You know, the abrasion marks on here.
Yeah, that could probably.
And up here, that probably was sliding around in the box during shipping.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure it was. But anyway, I mean, it's close enough. I would say good, high-ended good. I probably wouldn't go to very good, but it's close enough to where I'm not going to have an issue with it. So anyway, that'll be our first one. All right, next up we have a shipment from a customer in Minnesota. So thank you so much for selling this one to us.
It's all part of the experience, Chris. It's a boy! Congratulations, sir.
How's it going? All right, so what we have here is an infield number 4 Mark I. Now, this is manufactured in 1943. Trying to determine who is the manufacturer of this rifle, but I don't see any manufacturer marks that I recognize. I do not know. Probably BSA, but I don't know. It is dated 1943. This is the standard pattern that was used by Great Britain in the Second World War, as well as Canada, manufactured at Long Branch, and the variant that was manufactured by Savage for the Lend-Lease program as well, chambered in .303, feeding from a detachable 10-round box magazine. We also have a spike bayonet, which was the World War II pattern. The original, number 1 Mark III used a sword-style bayonet. Then went to the little pig sticker spike, also known as the tent peg, because these could be used as tent pegs, as it would look like. Very crude, but cool to see that come with it as well. This is a stacking swivel attachment up here at the front that you don't typically see on a lot of these. They screw right in to this mounting point here. Usually those are just open ears on most of them, but that's just a little detail that you don't typically see as well. But anyway, very cool rifles. Don't see a whole lot of these come in. It looks like this is a little bit loose. You might have to work on that. The safety's just a little loose. I think we can thread that screw down and it'll tighten up. But anyway, what do you think about the condition of that one?
Honestly, Chris, I would say surplus fair to good.
Yeah, I would agree. At least I don't see any cracks in the stock at all. So that looks good. The finish looks original, but is definitely very thin. There's some patina and very light pitting on the finish as well. Finish itself rates probably 50 to 60%, with a lot of it turning brown from patina. I looked at the bore. The bore's a little bit rough, and a lot of it might clean up, but there's definitely some graying going on inside there. So I would definitely say at the high end, I would probably say the low end of good, probably the high end of fair. What did the customer say?
Customer said very good, Chris.
So we're a little bit off there. It is a surplus rifle dated to, what did I say, 1943, so I will give it some latitude. But this is a non-factory. This is actually just a piece of leather that's been like tied around the... so that will be coming off. But with the bayonet and everything, it's an okay package. You know, we'll go with it. So anyway, there is that one for you.
Next up, we have one from the same customer in Minnesota. Thanks for sending that in to us. Let's see what we got. Hands and arms inside of me.
Oh, what's the number 8?
I'm not sure.
Model 8.
Being very careful with the wood here. I don't want to...
These things are really cool. Probably 35 Remington. All right, so what we effectively have here is a Remington Model 8 that's been upgraded, so they call it the Remington Model 81. The quickest dead giveaway is the pistol grip. The Remington Model 8 had a straight stock. Now, the Remington Model 8 was Remington's first high-powered rifle, most commonly found in the 35 Remington, although they made it in other calibers as well, like 300 Savage, which actually is what this one here is chambered in. Now, all of them featured a quick takedown barrel. I wouldn't say quick takedown, but a takedown barrel type of configuration like this one here. It is a semi-automatic, as I mentioned, self-loading rifle, feeding from a non-detachable internal box magazine. I don't recall how many it holds, probably 4 or 5 bolt release here on this side of the rifle. Now this one does have an aftermarket rear, probably Lyman. No, it's a Williams sight that's been added to it, which has probably been drilled into the rear of the receiver, would be my guess. So modifications like that were very common. Also, it'd have a graduated rifle sight. This one has a V-notch. Now this is a barrel shroud that actually has a recoil spring inside of it. So pretty unique and interesting design. And this has been featured in some video games as well, including the Battlefield 1 World War I era video game. But anyway, pretty cool rifle. What do you think about the condition of that one?
Now, considering the age, Chris, I would say good to very good.
Yeah, so the Remington Model 81 actually as an updated version of the Remington Model 8. The 81 hit the market in the early 1930s and was discontinued around 1950, so they are pretty rare. Not rare, I'm sorry, old. But for the time frame, the bluing actually looks original, and the bluing looks very good. There's some mild patina on it. The stocks look like they've probably been sanded and refinished. There's some kind of telltale signs of that around kind of the tang area. So for what it is and its age, I would probably say good to very good condition, like Randy said. What did the customer say? Didn't get the sheet, so.
Customer said excellent, Chris.
Yeah, so a little bit apart. I mean, I'd go with that. The action is actually very sticky as well, so we're gonna have to oil that up. The bolt, which was left in the white in this one, has a little bit of surface rust, no pitting or anything like that. So we'll have to clean that up a little bit. But for the age, you know, a very good is a fair assessment on this. I think we're close enough. So we'll roll on with it, but that is a Remington Model 81.
Me?
No, it's me. My turn. Me turn.
Me turn.
All right, next up we have one from a customer in Tennessee. Let's do it. This is a Sig P320. This looks like their full frame version. It does have the trigger upgrade in it, or I should say the trigger modification with night sights. Feeding from, these look like 10 round magazines, so 10 round magazines. Is this a 45? Ah, it's a 45. Okay. Two 10 round magazines. This is a 45 ACP on the full length slide configuration. Sig P320. This is one that came off of their P250 line, which was an internal hammer fired pistol. They came out with the P320, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago at this point at least. It is a striker fire version. Now the P320 is actually most famous for having won the XM17 military handgun trials, beating out the Glock 19X, much to the chagrin of everybody here. Right, Randy?
That's right.
Right, John?
John,
John likes the Sig should have won.
Well, we'll
We
talk
didn't know
later,
that
John.
about John. He also carries a 40.
Oh, God.
John's throwing things now. It's a 40.
That's why we can't have nice things, John.
Anyway, so they are very popular handguns. One of the great things about them is their modularity. So you have a fire control unit FCU that is actually the serialized part. So when you're doing your transfer, if you get the pistol, you can actually take your fire control unit out of it and put it in other frames. The other frames you purchase, the frame shells, do not require an FFL. So you can get different slides and frames delivered directly to you, take your fire control unit out and put it into different firearms to make something maybe that's going to be for home defense or for the range or for concealed carry. So you can sort of mix and match. It's a really cool option. And that was one of the modularity options that the military really liked as well. Cool pistols, they came out in 45 a few years after the 9 and 40 hit the market in 357 SIG variants, which is what this is. You don't see too many of them in 45 these days, but this is cool. This does have the drop safety trigger upgrade. They did have a recall because you could drop these and they would go boom, which is not a good thing. That's probably why John likes it so much. But those are noted by having a wider trigger. After the trigger upgrade, they put a narrower trigger in there. So if you're looking at a used one, look for that trigger modification to make sure that it is now drop safe and been back for recall. Anything you want to add to that one?
I think that's about it, Chris.
What do you think about the condition?
Just a few very minor marks on it, Chris. I would say very good condition.
I would actually agree. Looking at it, very good is where I would put it. And the customer said good. So, yeah.
We're good.
I think we're good. So, anyway, very cool. A Sig P320 and 45 ACP.
Next up, we have one from a customer in Michigan. Thank you very much for sending that in to us. Let's see what we got. So what we have here, Chris, is a Glock Model 30, 45 ACP, Gen 3.
Yeah, the Glock 30 is just a 45 ACP. They basically make two main versions of their 45 caliber line, the Glock 30 and the Glock 21. The Glock 30 is their compact. The Glock, did I say 31? 21. I meant to say 21 if I didn't say 21.
Okay.
Glock 30 is the compact. Glock 21 is their full frame pistol. I know that they make the Glock, is it the Model 40, which is the 45 ACP long slide, and then the older Glock 36, which is a single stack, 6-round capacity 45, which you don't find too much on the market anymore, but it's either the 30 or the 21 you're mainly running across in the 45 ACP line. These are dropping pieces of polymer as we talk. What's going on with everybody, Randy?
I don't know.
Okay.
What I do know is if you drop a Glock, it does not accidentally fire.
This one has been dropped, so we know that that's true.
What? I don't get it.
Anyway, I'm sure it still works.
Extra part. Shake out the
It comes
loose
with
parts.
extra parts. Yeah, that's what it is. These are really cool pistols. I actually really like the Glock Model 30. They are, for their size, very accurate. They do have a nice recoil impulse. This is a smaller frame 45 ACP wood, but not unmanageable. So anyway, not much else to say about it. What do you think about the condition of that one?
I would say good condition, Chris.
I actually don't think that this came from that gun. I just think it's a small piece of plastic that was probably in the box that rattled into the gun. It actually looks like a piece that probably came from the packaging.
Possibly.
Ah, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly where it came. So it's a broken piece of the box that found its way inside of the handgun. So that's what all that is.
I would move it to the higher end of good, Chris.
Yeah, I would probably say higher end of good. I bet you this would clean up pretty well, though, honestly. There's a little bit of holster wear on the high end, so high end of good is fine. Customer said very good condition. So yeah, we're close enough, not a big deal. So these are really cool pistols. They make really good concealed carry and even hiking companion firearms. Or if you like something for like bear defense in this exact same size, you go with the Model 29 and 10 millimeters. So anyway, guys, that'll end it up with this video. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
I am so proud of you. You know, I watched you very closely. You didn't screw up once.